Flat Earth Debate live. I'm your host Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe. Hit the bell notification icon and join button if you'd like to become a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member and keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you would like to support the channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they are live, and there's also a coffee, Patreon, crypto and thanks button in the info box below the video. Most importantly, if you'd like to join the discussion, simply mute the page you are currently watching, then click the link in the info box below this video to join the panel and express your views on the nature of Earth. If you do join, please don't swear. If you do, you'll be ejected, and if you are, please don't try to rejoin the stream using sock accounts. You'll be warmly welcome back on the next stream. Please also share the show on social media. Sharing the show obviously increases the live audience, but this in turn increases the chances of a more diverse panel, so please share the show on Facebook and X. Now we are joined by Adam Price, Neil, Central Goat, Click OK, Duncan, and a whole bunch of people in the Politics Flat Earth Debate Discord server, so welcome one and all.
Hello, everyone.
Afternoon.
Hello.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Aloha.
In case you didn't pick up from my introduction, in case there was a bit of rumblings and mutterings going on while I was doing it, please don't swear, just while we're live. That's all I'll ask. My endeavours of being in the Politics server, and have been for the last year on a Friday, is to spread the good word of non-anti-globism. That is to say, rather than what we've done for the last 10 years as flat earthers, which is tell people Earth is not a globe, start on the front foot, point out how Earth is actually functionally utilised and measured. That would be flat. No need to defeat people's beliefs. They can present them to you if they wish, and if you're adept at the arguments that have gone over the last 10 years, you'll be able to overcome them. But that shouldn't be your default position as a flat earther. That's why we're here on a Friday. I'm sure there'll be some fun discussions in the meantime with some of the more flamboyant of this particular server. Anyway, good to be here. A fantastic community.
What's your show name? I didn't catch that.
Flat Earth Debate.
Is that on YouTube or Twitch or what?
It is on
platform
YouTube. Yes, indeedy.
YouTube.
Yes.
Right on.
We are live
swear
now.
Open queue? Like, can we ask a question, or do we have to get on queue?
Do I like? It's an open server. I have previously been into this server where we're in a Q&A section in a separated bit of the server, but I'm just in this room as a guest like you are, to be honest, so hopefully it'll go well. But feel free if you've got a question.
I'll start it off, no problem. I'll start it off, no problem. Thanks for being here. I got a question. So, saw a couple of your videos. You mentioned that 500 years ago or something like that, the Roman Catholic Church introduced the idea of globe Earth. So I guess, can you expand on that? And also, were the humans before that, like flat earthers, or what?
Well, the notions that Kepler and Copernicus used, that's what you're talking about. They're the people that have brought to fruition this notion of being on a spherical ball moving around the sun in an orbital motion, or further to that, an elliptical orbital motion, if you're talking about Kepler and the scale that we have with 93 million miles, it's Huygens. You know, there's a whole list of people that have all participated in taking what are flat Earth measurements and turning them into a paradigm we now believe, or the most of the world believe that they're part of, you know, standing on a sphere. But you can track the origins, it's easy. Hope that answers your question. Copernicus, Kepler, Huygens. There you go. Those are the only names you need to look up if you want to know the history of this subject and where the globe came from.
So were humans flat earthers before that, then?
We are now. Everybody's a flat earther. We measure Earth flat, and those people that we're talking about 500 years ago took the flat Earth measurements specifically of angles to the stars and converted them into orbital and elliptical orbital motion, so we could better predict where the stars would be. but the origins of those systems that we now think we stand on are flat Earth measurements. So were they flat Earthers before? They were flat Earthers then, they're flat Earthers now, and they'll be flat Earthers tomorrow because that's how Earth functions.
Obviously, I disagree with you. I don't really have the technical expertise to argue this in depth. But I would like to ask you if you're like a heliocentric or geocentric kind of guy. I'm just kind of wondering where your guys' orientation is with regards to that.
But you started off by saying I disagree with you. You disagree with measurements.
Yes.
You disagree with the measurements of Earth.
No. I disagree fundamentally with your whole flat Earth kind of thing. That's beyond the point. The point, the question I have.
You can't just tell me stop him. Please stop him. No, don't just tell me you don't agree. But that's not the point. I'll move on anyway. Yeah, if you disagree, you better have a damn good reason to and explain why and give me a justification for why you disagree. Earth is measured flat.
Here's the whole thing with that, right?
Excuse me, I haven't finished.
Technical,
I haven't finished.
You guys
I haven't finished. You're not in charge. I am. Shut up. You disagree.
Well, okay.
No. Yeah. You disagree with Earth measurements. Do you? Is this what you've got to disagree and then laugh at me while I'm trying to clarify that which you disagree with? It's not going to succeed, sir. If you just hand wave that which I say, Earth is measured flat.
I was being very polite.
You can shut up while I talk. You can shut up. What you think you can do is hand wave what I've said. I disagree, you say. I object to your disagreement because you haven't backed it with anything. So you won't just move on. I'll stop you and say, no, you won't get to just disagree. You have to justify why you disagree. And if you can't, and you just incessantly babble me through me pointing that out, eventually you'll be removed. So no, you don't just get to disagree and move on. Earth is measured flat. Now, if you want to show me some Earth measurements that contradict that, be my guest. If not, you won't get to just hand wave those facts.
Okay, are you done?
Do you have Earth measurements to present in contradiction? Don't ask me if I'm done after a protracted silence and then keep talking. That's a question you've asked me. Now I'm going to answer without you yammering through me. Yeah? Am I done? I was done at the point that I stopped and asked a question you were non-responsive to. Do you have Earth measurements? You're still talking. Am I done? No. It seems I've got to berate an idiot that was non-responsive and is now talking while I'm talking. I'll be done when you offer measurements of Earth that contradict that which you've disagreed with. I say it's measured flat. You say no. Okay, give me Earth measurements. Go.
I said disagree with your.
Yeah, got that stuttery. We got that stuttery. We heard you disagree. Yeah, now you're going to back it. You can stutter. Yeah, we can hear you stuttering, son. We hear you stuttering. Earth measurements. Go.
Ask you a question.
No, you're going to give me your Earth measurements because you disagreed. Can you shut this asshole up? Shut him up.
Can I explain myself?
Shut him up. No, you disagreed with me after I stated a fact. Earth's measured flat, I state as a fact. You just disagree and want to ask me a question after just disagreeing. I've stopped you and said, no, you don't just get to disagree with me. You're going to back your disagreement with some substantive evidence. That would be Earth measurements to back or justify your disagreement. Nobody cares about your feelings on the matter. The fact that you feel like I'm wrong and therefore feel like you've got to express that verbally isn't tolerated. No, if you disagree, you better have a damn good reason to disagree with me. It is, that's Earth, measured flat. If you disagree, you better have some measurements to show for your disagreeing. Go.
Give me a second now, because I mean, here's the thing. I wasn't even coming in to argue specifically.
Then sit down and shut up. Then sit down and shut up, you stupid man. If you're not here to debate with me, shut up. Nobody wants to hear you and your ramblings about your stupid feelings on the matter. You thought you were going to get to ask a question? Shame you disagreed with me before you got to ask it. Because then you were pinned to the wall on what you disagreed with. Oh, you disagree? Oh, really? Well, you better justify it or you won't be asking anything.
I can write it down. I'll do this stuff. I can come back with actual information and have a more thorough debate. Okay? That's what I was going to say. I'm here to have
shut up.
Questions.
Nobody cares. Shut up.
And I can go do thorough.
Shut up about what you could do in the future, dum-dum. You didn't do it. You failed miserably. You disagreed with me telling you how Earth's measured, and then didn't back that which you disagreed with, and then you thought that you could just move on with a question of me, did you? Oh, well, that's a shame. Next time, come with Earth measurements. I don't need to hear about what you'll do next time and how you'll debate next time. You failed miserably this time. Now bugger off. Next. Anybody else want to disagree? Earth's measured flat. That's how it functionally operates for everyone. You want to believe in a globe? Then your origin measurements of that globe are flat. Those are facts. You want to disagree? You better have something to back it with.
Okay, I guess I'll ask the next question. So there's a trip in the south. If there is proof that there's a 24-hour sun, will that change your stance?
Why would it change my stance? Do you think 24-hour sun changes the measurements of Earth, sir? Are you under the misapprehension that what the sun will do in Antarctica in any way, shape or form alters the functional measurements of Earth? Yes or no?
No, you're correct on that. It doesn't. But it still doesn't work on the Gleason's model, right?
Sorry, who was asserting that it would? Have you checked the Gleasons?
So is it safe to...
Have you checked the Gleasons?
Yeah, is it safe to say that it... Sorry, go ahead.
I was just asking, have you checked the Gleasons and how functionally accurate it is?
I mean, I've looked at it. I haven't checked it personally to go out there to do measurements.
I have. I ran an entire 2-day campaign where we verified how inaccurate the Gleasons was by looking at where the sun was in comparison to where the Gleasons, as it is, map suggests. It was one of the first things I did 10 years ago. I already know the Gleasons isn't correct. Do I need somebody to go down to Antarctica and assume they're on the bottom of a ball to then look at the sun? No, they'll be arriving in Antarctica after flying with respect to a plane, nose up with respect to horizontal. We can prove that with pitch data, showing that Earth is measured flat for all aviation. So, no, it doesn't make any difference to my worldview, to answer your question.
Okay, so do you currently believe that there's a 24-hour sun down there or no?
Don't know. I don't go to... I've never been there. I don't know. Makes no difference to how Earth is measured. Earth is measured flat regardless of what the sun does in Antarctica. Furthermore, travelling to Antarctica will prove Earth is flat by way of the measurements we can show for the journey to Antarctica. It is flat, as shown in the measurements. Pitch data show how Earth is flat. That's what the measurements show. So how could it change my worldview?
Can I point out something here?
Sure.
The flat earthers, the so-called flat earthers who are going on this expedition have had this pointed out to them in regards to the Gleason. So that's something to consider about their motivations.
Well, I don't think it's fair to group them as flat earthers because Nathan Oakley believes in flat earth, but I don't think he aligns with some of the ideologies of those guys because some of those guys believe in the Gleason fan.
We don't...
Indeed.
Yeah, fine.
Even though they've had the issues pointed out to them.
There's a lot of flat earthers that exercise their beliefs. That's the problem here. Beliefs. So in the pre-show, I was talking to a guy called Issa, and he's saying, yeah, well, we're planting the seeds. And you're like, well, no. A lot of the people planting seeds, as it were, are planting beliefs. New beliefs in place of the old beliefs. Well, they're just beliefs. When we're dealing with measurements, just deal with absolutes.
Yeah, keep in mind, too, that none of the participants of the final experiment are flat earthers. Both Jaron and Whitsitt stopped identifying as a flat earther years ago. They call themselves true earthers. A completely different ballpark. That's not even the same league anymore. It's like we're playing baseball and they're over there playing air hockey or some shit. Oh, sorry about swearing. It slipped out. I didn't mean to.
No, I laughed because it was a good comparison. We're playing basketball. They're over there doing water polo. You know what I mean?
That's it's not even a comparison. If they wanted the final experiment to involve flat earthers, they should have invited flat earthers. But they didn't. On purpose, by design.
Yo, how about you get a job, man?
Say again? Again, whoever that was.
I think he asked you why you don't get a job. Did I hear that right?
Yeah, don't be shy, sunshine. Step up.
Yeah, that's Van. Van, come on, you can speak up. You've been around here many times.
Three,
I think it's
two,
his old.
1. He chose not to. Bad luck.
Yeah, I think his old name was called like Tech Skank or something like that. So I think he's a Nathan fan, Ballbusters fan, anyway.
I just want to do a follow up on that. So if you're saying the Gleason's map is wrong, what map on the flat Earth model can I refer to?
What can you refer? You can do whatever you like. Refer to whatever you want.
No, like I want your opinion. Like, what map is correct in your opinion?
With regards to the subject, you appreciate that all maps are flat, right?
Sure.
Okay. I'm not a cartographer. You appreciate that, right?
Okay.
Okay. And you appreciate that when dealing with measurements for navigation, they're all flat too, right?
Yes.
Okay. So why do we need to do anything else? What's next? I don't get it. Why?
The question was, is there any correct maps out there that I can refer to or no?
No. Surprisingly, there's an entire worldview that we're on a ball. And in order to achieve that end, they've taken the ball that they created with flat Earth angle measurements to the stars and projected that ball that's absolutely useless for navigation onto a load of flat maps, creating huge distortions. Now, I'm not responsible for those distortions when making globe projections that came from flat Earth measurements flat again when they induced distortions. That's not my fault. But there's lots of flat maps that can only function flat, and some of them come from globe projections, which causes distortions, like making circles of equal elevation in the case of the latitude grid, square in the case of the Mercator projection. Why is it called a projection? Because it's come from flat Earth angle measurements to the stars to create areas of equal elevation, to then project them onto a globe with it inside the celestial sphere on a flat plane, and then project that back onto a flat map so it's actually useful again. That buggers up the whole thing. But that's because we've got this worldview that we're on a globe when we're not, that we have that problem. Not because it's not comporting with the world being flat. That's how it functionally operates.
He also mentioned model. There really is no flat Earth model.
Okay, then.
So, from what I understand, you reject the idea that all of the celestial bodies, like the stars or the sun, orbit around the North Pole in concentric circles around where the North Pole is the center of the Earth, which is the model that is proposed by Gleason. Is that true or not?
Can you back off your mic a bit, Embo? It's really distorted. Orbits, you say? Orbits is derived from the angle measurements of the stars, though. That's what Kepler uses.
Yeah, but I'm asking if you reject that Gleason's idea about what's the geometry of this orbit, that the North Pole is the center of the Earth around which is
I heard you the first time.
centered.
I heard you the first time, Embo. My response. Orbits, you say? Orbits are derived from flat Earth angle measurements, though, aren't they, Embo?
That's a non sequitur. That's not an answer.
So let me get it straight. My response, using the very specific word orbit and how that comes to fruition with flat Earth angle measurements, is non sequitur, not relevant. No, it just proves Earth's measured flat, Embo. It makes your question about sphere Earth with things flying around it redundant, because the origin of your question has the word orbit in it, and that needs a flat Earth. So it's not relevant, surplus to the questioning process. It's absolutely relevant, because to come up with this concept of orbits, the thing you asked me about, Embo, would mean we need a flat Earth to measure to create that idea, like Kepler did. Yeah? We need a flat Earth for the angle measurements, though, Embo. So it's kind of redundant to be asking if I believe what Gleason perceived to be, what, lights in the sky moving around a sphere? Oh, definitely not. That idea came from the church, and they used flat Earth measurements to get there. Making your question completely redundant, because we need flat Earth for the orbits. Hope that's clear. You thought it was non sequitur. It isn't. It's a flat Earth proof. Of course, when a globe believer is a flat Earth proof, it's not relevant. Very relevant. It's us measuring Earth to come up with orbits.
But I've never denied the assumption of flat Earth. In my argument, I was already giving you that assumption and asking if you already have that flat Earth, do you subscribe to this particular model of orbits where the center of them is the North Pole on flat Earth? Or do you have some other view of it, or do you not have a view on it at all?
My view is Earth's flat, and you're confirming it for us. Thank you for confirming that your orbital motion to believe you're on a sphere has a flat Earth prerequisite, that measurements be made off a flat Earth for your fundamentalist religious sphere belief with orbits and stuff that you believe in. I see that being very, very relevant to other people's beliefs that they base on the flat Earth measurements that we all must use when we measure Earth flat, because that's what it is. But you want to know what I think of someone who took those flat Earth measurements and created a map with them? Oh, I don't care. I showed how wrong his map was 10 years ago. Do I care what Gleason's thought? Nah, not really. Don't care. I know he had to use flat Earth angle measurements if he's inferring orbital motion has something to do with his map. That's wrong, that I showed to be wrong. But we still need a flat Earth for that orbit that he's appealing to. Like all globe believers, they all need flat Earth measurements. They all, like you would also say, that they're not relevant when pointed out to them.
There's so many people.
So you don't support Gleason's model that all of the stars and sun and moon rotate around Polaris, which was his view?
Sorry, did you not hear me point out that we need a flat Earth for this? Did you not tell me that it wasn't important and then me reiterate how important it was? Did you feel that reiterating your question for the fourth time was in any way going to address which I put back in answer to your question when we were in a debate and discussion about the nature of Earth and how it's measured? You're asking me about the extrapolation after the flat Earth measurement and whether or not I agree with it. Yeah, I heard you the first 4 times you asked, Dembo. You told me that the answer about the flat Earth measurement that's needed to come to those conclusions you're asking about is irrelevant. But yet it's the genesis, the measurement that leads to your question. Maybe you could acknowledge that flat Earth measurement. Oh, you did. You said you don't deny it. So the only thing I take away from this is that both you and I accept Earth must be measured flat. That's the end of this discussion. I don't care beyond that. How right was Gleason's? I already know he's wrong. I answered that too, didn't I? I showed how wrong his map was 10 years ago and Attract the Sun. So that kind of undermines everything you're asking. Did you think you need to ask it a 5th time, Embo? Because I'm pretty sure I'm done with this line of questioning, as I've dealt with it on multiple times. I don't need it repeated a 5th time. Thank you. But thank you for your question. Earth's measured flat for Gleason's to utilise orbits. Thank you for bringing it up. I hope everyone else who's listening to this realises just how Earth is measured flat. Thanks.
It's actually not flat, and I can prove it right now. I'm actually in space. So I can actually come on camera and prove it right now. I'm working with Elon Musk with the star gauge.
You should get rid of this guy that's lying, please. I don't like talking to liars.
I'm not. I literally can come on camera right now.
Can you get rid of this liar, please? Get rid of this liar, please. Thank you.
The violation.
Do you know why I know he's a liar? Go on, whoever that was from G+, sorry.
I said it's in violation of natural law. He can't be in that area.
Yeah, it's like somebody coming on mic and saying, I am actually in Narnia. Just let me have my camera on. You can see that I'm in Narnia. I'm talking to Aslan right now. Now, the sky vacuum, outer space, is fake. It violates the second law of thermodynamics. If the sky was an area of volume 10 to the minus 17 torr, then the high-pressure gas expanding in all directions would vacate the Earth and we'd all be dead. Furthermore, we would have never developed gas pressure in the first place because there'd be nothing to press on. And they're definitely not in a sky vacuum. I already know you're a liar. Like all astronauts who claim to be in a sky vacuum. They're all liars too.
Hey, just a follow-up. So if you're saying the church introduced the idea of the globe Earth, what about all the Muslim countries? Because they don't have authority over those countries, right? So why do they believe in the globe?
Why do they? I don't know. You'd have to ask them. But their rhetoric, Muslim or any other religion for that matter, as I've found out recently, having chatted to people around the world a little bit, is irrelevant. the origins of the heliocentric paradigm, there's me talking while you're answering in the middle of my answer to you. Was my in the middle of being talking, need for you to start talking? Try again. It still came from the church. I can show where it came from. I can name the individuals who created it. So the fact that a different religion also teaches it to their children in their schools is irrelevant. They all teach it. It came from the Roman Catholic Church. Those are just facts. It's not an if. Like, if it's true that it came from the church, it did. Kepler. You never heard of Kepler? Copernicus. You never heard of him? What do you want me to do? Turn him into a Muslim and give him a different name? No, that's just where it came from.
No, but if you're saying it came 500 years ago, Muslims existed before 500 years ago. That's the point.
And?
So if the idea was only introduced by the church 500 years ago, how did the Muslims teach it thousand years ago?
Right, why are you asking me this? Number one, I'm not a Muslim, right? I'm a proud transgender Jew. So don't ask me about... I don't know. Ask a Muslim.
Yeah, can I answer him?
Teach it was a ball. Stop
Meanwhile,
lying.
the ball religion came from the Roman Catholic Church. You keep saying if it came from the Roman Catholic Church. So what about Muslims? They had religion 1,000 years. So what? I don't know. I don't care either. I know where the religion of the ball came from and who created it, and nothing will change that as far as history is concerned.
Where did he get the idea that Muslims were teaching globe Earth 1,000 years ago?
I don't know.
I don't know either. They teach it now, though, in Muslim schools.
I'd say in all schools.
Yeah, in all schools. Correct. If you're in school, you're being taught that you're on a ball.
Pretty much all the scriptures, if you read through them, they indicate a flat Earth.
Yeah, why wouldn't they comport with how Earth is measured? Makes sense.
Their holy book hasn't changed, right? So that's why I'm assuming if they're teaching it today, they would have taught it years ago too.
Well, no, as I think it was Endless just said, they're all the Bible or the Quran. They're teaching a flat Earth. There's no heliocentric nonsense in these books. But the church or the mosque, that's different. That's a building with people in it. Right? Well, they, in the case of the Roman Catholic Church, came up with this paradigm, heliocentrism, but that doesn't mean they've got it from the books. And it doesn't mean that because somebody had any book 1,000, 5,000 years before, doesn't alter that from 500 years ago you have this notion of heliocentrism, and then now, in all the schools, they teach it.
Nathan, can I say something?
Yeah, go ahead.
They did not think they were on a spinning water ball. There was no need to emphasize that they lived on a flat earth. That's why you're not finding anything there. But if you read any scriptures, it's all flat.
Yeah, why wouldn't it be?
Well, the debate started when they started pushing this heliocentric paradigm.
Interesting question, though. Thanks. The guy earlier was talking about... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, sorry.
I was just filling the air. Go ahead.
Yeah, so if you don't claim any model of the stars and you support complete separation of the arguments about the sky and the ground, are you equally fine with people having different ideas about how the stars move? For example, the South Pole being the center of flat Earth, as long as they accept the Earth is flat, or do you have some specific layout of how the stars move imagined in your head?
I don't know. I just know how they've been utilised up until now to map and chart the territories. And the way that's been done to date is with flat Earth elevation angles. That's how we've created things like the celestial sphere and indeed the globe itself.
Okay, thank you.
My pleasure. "101 people watching in YouTube. Please share the show if you've not done so already. Very warm welcome if you've just joined us. As is always the case, or typically the case on a Friday, we are in the politics server, so hopefully one of my mods can drop a link to the politics Discord server. Thank you, Divergent Droid. So Divergent Droid's just dropped a link to this Discord server, which is politics. If you did want to join and express your views on the nature of Earth, then click that link today. Please don't swear if you join.
I guess let's assume that they're lying about the globe Earth, right? The way you're saying it. What's the motive? Like, why? If it's flat and they know, why are they lying about it? Well, to gain what?
Who are they? And this is an appeal to motivation fallacy.
The church and all the people that are making this lie, right?
No, we're going to need a big spade and some very strong smelling salts to find that out, I'm afraid. They didn't lie. They tried to create a novel way of predicting where the lights would be. And thinking outside of the box, they took the elevation angles measured off a flat plane and put them into heliocentric motion to better predict where the lights would be. That's the original motivation. Now, don't get me wrong, you fast forward 500 years and suddenly we've got the most of the world that we are aware of professing to be on a sphere. Well, we're not, but that doesn't mean that Copernicus is a liar. He's being charged as an astronomer to come up with a better predictive model for the lights in the sky. That's it. I don't think there's any nefarious intent. Now, move forward into the current time, and you could suggest it's the same as anything else in life. It's done for control, like everything. But who cares? If you know it's flat, and that's how it functions, number one, nothing changes. It was always flat, and it still is. Functionally, Earth is utilised flat. There's no ifs, buts, or maybes about it. So in that respect, nothing changes. When you're like, why do we need religions? To keep people under control. Now, you can either question and query about the methodologies of control that we have in our lives in abundance, or just know the reality of the world. In this instance, it's just how the surface is measured. It's flat. Now, you can concern yourselves with the paradigms that are foisted upon you and the lies and deceit and consume your life with it. Or you could just get on with your life, knowing that it's flat. Oh yeah, I used to be part of a religion. That's how I view it. But why did they lie? You can waste a lot of time appealing to the motivation of frauds and liars. They'll just lie to you, though, if you try and appeal to them. I don't know their motivation, I'm sorry. I know that there's control structures in our lives everywhere. I would assume this is just another one of them, if you need an answer.
No, what I was referring to now, like forget 500 years ago, why, if it's a well-known fact now that it's measured flat, why keep that ideology up, right? And also, how does it, okay, so if they come out tomorrow and say it's flat and it's not the globe, how does that make them control us even better? I don't get that part.
These people can't specifically is lying. Can you tell us who is lying? Specifically, like the names.
He's shifted
your mainstream education, your education system, right? Because your religions, they're all teaching the globe Earth, right?
That's not a lie, though.
Can you
They're not
prove
liars.
that they believe that it's flat, but they're saying it's a globe, or do they just believe it?
A lie, they must have malice. They must have the understanding, the forethought that what they're saying is wrong. They must have the intention to deceive to be called liars. So when you say teachers, you can't label teachers who teach heliocentrism liars. That's part of a curriculum. They're not liars. There's very few people who are. Astronauts are liars. The ones that say that they're in a sky vacuum. Definitely not. Like the guy earlier who said, I'm definitely in space. No, I automatically called him out as a liar, didn't I? I didn't need to hear anything else beyond, I'm in a sky vacuum in violation of natural law. Put me on camera so he can show his green screen and be funny. They're liars. But there's very few others that you can actually ascribe as lying. They just don't know any better.
I'm going to go ahead and say that Elon Musk is a liar.
You know it's real because it looks so fake when showing you a car in an area that doesn't exist. Put the same car in Narnia. You know Narnia's real because the images of my car in Narnia look so unbelievably fake that you definitely know that there is a Narnia and we went through the wardrobe to get there. No, you don't, I don't know if he's been given that by a scriptwriter, a PR company. I don't know. So I can't, strictly speaking, say, yeah, he's definitely a liar because he said, you know it's real, talking about outer space, because it looks so fake. That might be actually takeable as read. Like, he actually believes that because his own images that he didn't film, he's not on the back of the car with a camera. So it might be the case that he actually believes what he says. I don't know. But I do know that when men say, I've been in space. No, you haven't. You're a liar. Musk, I don't know. Maybe he is, maybe he isn't. Could just be a useful idiot. You don't know.
Elon doesn't run SpaceX. He's specifically kept away from running that place. You can read interviews with various people who work there and look at how the organizational structure actually works. He's not the CEO.
Yeah, he's got better things to do, like make flamethrowers.
Yeah, Endless is right. I can get into detail on the corporate structure and why it is that way, but maybe that's too much for this discussion right now.
It's an appeal to motivation fallacy. Why would they lie? Who cares? You know what reality is if you know what Earth is functionally being used as, and that's a plane. There's no getting around it. But then when you go, well, but there's people that say otherwise. Yeah, there's always going to be liars, and there's always going to be people who buy into whatever paradigm is to the status quo because it benefits them. Again, you can't ascribe the lie to them, but the fact that they reinforce a system that exercises a certain degree of control over their minions if they're in control, like in government. But again, it doesn't really make any difference to the subject that we actually discuss here. Is Earth flat or not? Yep, that's how it's measured. Move on, or concern yourself with what you'll actually get back from the opponents with, no, it isn't, it's a globe. How do you know? I just feel like I disagree with you when you tell me it's measured flat. So can I ask you a question? No. I don't care about your feelings. But why would they lie? I don't care.
Hello. Hey, Nathan.
Hello.
Question. What made you turn into a flat earther? Was it something you saw, something somebody said? Like, what was your turning point for you? Were like, okay, you know, like this is just not adding up, and like, let me just do my further research. Like, what was it for you?
In realistic terms, it was a recognition. In realistic terms, it's only been in the last couple of years that I could honestly call myself hand on heart a flat earther, because prior to that, I didn't know it was flat. Well, there was plenty of indications that it was flat, and I'm generalising here. This isn't even strictly true either, but there we go. For the sake of your question, in the last couple of years, it's become abundantly clear that Earth is measured flat in all instances. Therefore, there's no denying it or coming to terms with it. It's just, it is what it is.
Okay, thank you.
But before that, I had a very strong flat Earth belief for quite a number of years. I didn't know it was flat. I just believed it was flat because there was a lot of people out there that talked about it being flat and then told us how globe-shaped it wasn't and the reasons why it wasn't globe-shaped. So I believed it was flat.
So Nathan, are you a citizen of the Crown? Are you a British citizen?
Yes.
Which team do you support?
Football team. I don't.
You don't support any teams? Oh, not
No.
Manchester. Not.
No, I don't. I'm not a sports fan. Sorry. My father used to support Birmingham City, and therefore I used to go to those games. And when I was at school, they used to like Aston Villa, so I'd go to those games, even though it was frowned upon, as I was apparently labelled a Blues fan, and you're only allowed one. But I had no interest in either, really. I just went, my friends went, and my dad went. But I'm not really a sports fan. No, sorry.
The last time I went to a game was 33 years ago, and I got to see a Tottenham game.
33 years ago.
Because my extended family is Tottenham supporters.
Back in the good old days.
was about to say that would be in the 90s. That's when they were winning. That's when they were good. Yeah,
it was quite enjoyable, really.
One of my uncles used to be a steward at Tottenham during that period, so he'd be looking back at you while you were watching the game.
Well, I think the chanting and the cheering was actually more exciting than watching the men go back and forth, kicking a ball with no result.
I don't know.
Only for tell you, Tottenham didn't win for 50 years. Nothing, people.
Well, I mean, you could watch the game for half an hour and not see a single score. Where you just kicking back and forth and back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And it's like, and that's great. I mean, they're competing, and the game is meant to be difficult. It's not meant to be easy.
Yeah, I agree.
And they need a flat Earth.
I agree. It could be boring. Football could be boring.
Yeah.
Go on.
Well, I wanted to find out what the room thought of the claim that you could sail in a straight direction from the coast of India and hit Alaska.
I don't know. Could you? I don't know.
Is anyone?
Now, if you look at it on the map, it looks like a sine curve. It looks like a sine curve when you look at the map because it ends up going down and around through the southern tip of South America, and it looks like a big W basically, and then it lands out in Alaska.
You said
Has anyone claimed to have done this?
About?
Well, I mean, it seems to be a pretty profound argument, but let me see here. Sailing.
Number one, which map?
Straight from India.
You're dropping things in while you're looking. Profound argument?
Hold on, I'm going to try to find. I mean, I'm looking at my desktop computer, so I have to then find the link and then bring it up on my phone and then share it. So please continue, gentlemen.
Well, I was just clarifying something you said. You said it seemed like a profound argument.
Yeah, this one is from the Daily Mail.
He's not going to address that. He's not going to address his. He gave himself the trophy before the race.
It's not a trophy. I'm asking what the room thinks. I haven't sailed it.
Sounds like a profound argument, bro.
It sounds like a joke from Lord of the Rings, where like if men sail in circles, the elves, sail in straight lines.
Okay.
How profound?
Sure, but you're saying on the map it looks wrong. Okay, we need to establish which map it is, and then we'll go from there. But furthermore, it's being presented as though there's an argument to be won or lost here, when there isn't. There's no argument about how Earth is if you're suggesting that this argument with where things would be travelled to and from on a certain map would prove it either way. Well, no. The map itself, if I can find out which map it is, will have had its origins in flat Earth measurements. So the map itself will prove either way, not the distortions and how they may look when you plot things on them.
Well, gentlemen, this is one write-up from the Daily Mail. Can't always trust the Brits, but here. There it is.
Okay.
Actually, it's not a W, it's a big U.
Has anyone
what's
done
your
this?
position on it? Where do you stand on this fact that Earth is flat?
Well, I personally, I don't ever want to get cholera, so I'm not going to India.
So where do you
said
stand,
it was profound.
Where do you stand in regards to the Earth being flat, or the utilization of those measurements to infer that we are on a ball? Did you have a position in that regard?
Well, I mean, I was just going through some comedic listings on like those short videos on Facebook, and this came up as one of them. This spherical representation of someone sailing directly from India to Alaska.
Okay.
And so, I was like, I'm going to have to ask the guys in the channel here.
But what's your position on it in regards to Earth and its nature with respect to its measurements? Do you have a position on it?
Well, I'm too busy grinding spreadsheets personally.
Okay, but you said this, just I'm nearly done with this guy. Sorry.
I get paid to hump finance data.
Cool.
So that's what I do. I hump finance data all day.
Excellent. But you said it was
I do the Watusi.
Conclusive in
I
regards
do the
to
Watusi on spreadsheets.
Thanks. So you said it was seemingly conclusive in regards to the argument. Okay.
No, it just seemed to be profound. I didn't, because I mean, it just the visual representation that they posted on the Facebook link, which I don't know that I can reproduce.
I've asked you 3 times, and now you're just stuttering.
It shows us.
You're just stuttering through the top of me before I finish my statement. Nobody wants to know about your spreadsheets. Where do you stand with regards to Earth being flat? 4th time I've asked you.
Well, I live in the middle of a very flat state of Texas, and I really just don't bother with it.
But you suggested that there was an argument.
I've never tried to do measurements. I've never tried to...
you paused, so I started responding to what you said. Thank you. Yeah, you suggested that there was an argument, though. So, given that you made that suggestion, presumably you understand what that argument you were putting forward from the Daily Mail was and which sides there were with that argument. So, given that it's presumably a flat Earth argument that the Daily Mail are putting forth, and they're suggesting sphericity in the argument, which side of that argument that you put forth do you sit on? 5th time I've asked you.
Honestly, I'm undecided, and that's why I'm bringing it here.
So, did you feel that the Daily Mail had come to a conclusion you could draw? You said you thought it seemed.
No, I just found this article as a representation of what I saw on Facebook, because these Facebook shorts, you can never hunt them down. There's like a rotating melange of them. There's got to be a million of them, and unless you completely copy it or grab the link immediately, it's gone. You literally, if you shut your phone off and you turn your phone back on, it gives you something else. It doesn't bring you back.
Truly fascinating. So with regards to the argument, you're neutral, but when you suggested that it had a conclusive outcome to the debate...
No, I'm undecided.
But you okay, but you said formally you've changed your position then, because previously it was quite conclusive, this Daily Mail debate piece.
Well, I thought it was profound, but I didn't view it as
You used the word, quote, conclusive, end quote, you.
I didn't say conclusive. No, sir, I did not.
You said, it
How
seems
did
pretty...
you evaluate
You
it to
said,
be
I don't need help,
profound if
don't
you
need help. You said, quote, it seems pretty conclusive.
Well,
end
what
quote.
do you think of it? See, you can look at the link.
Did you hear what I just said? Is he just me, or is he raising his voice? I'll try that again.
I'm asking what you guys
do I need to
think?
get this guy shut up? Because it seems that he's being called out on his lie. He's denied what he said. I wrote it down.
I said it was profound. I didn't say it was conclusive.
Okay. So you're neutral.
So none of you have an opinion on this?
I know how Earth's measured. It won't offer any elucidation to the debate in regards to this subject, because there is no debate. Earth is measured flat. There is no debate to be had. That's why I'm trying to peg you on it.
Fine.
You were suggesting that it was somehow in assistance to the debate. You're talking straight through the middle of me, sir. You're talking straight through the middle of me still. You're still talking through the middle of me. You offered it like it needed assessment because it would help elucidate an outcome in the debate.
Are you getting defensive?
You offered it because you suggested it would offer some elucidation in the debate. Therefore, you are under the misapprehension there's a debate to be had.
Okay, so if there's no debate and there's no interest in reviewing it, then basically I've wasted my time and you're not interested, and that's fine.
Whether or not you have wasted...
If you don't want to comment, you can pass. You can say...
I am commenting.
Not interested.
I am commenting. I'm interested. Very, very interested.
It's not up for debate.
I am interested. I'm interested. I don't need help. I am interested. I'm interested in why you would think there's a debate based on the article when it's a fact that you were obviously unaware of. Obviously, sir. Given that you suggested that this article would help elucidate the debate, I can only draw the conclusion that you are ignorant of how Earth is measured. So I'm very interested. This is my response. Okay?
Excellent.
So you were unaware Earth is measured flat then, sir? You thought there was a debate here? All right, let me enlighten you. The article won't do that. I will. When I tell you Earth is measured flat, for everyone. Everything that's mapped, charted, flown upon, sailed upon, built upon, it's all measured flat. That would be Earth and its flatness and how it's measured and how it functionally operates. Ergo, I have no need to look at some article that some people might ignorantly believe will elucidate something about a debate that doesn't exist. When we've got measurements, the debate is over. The non-debate that the article won't be helping with. Hence my interest and my response about your ignorance of how Earth's measured, sir.
Well, I apologize. I guess I didn't realize I was the subject of the discussion.
What, when you piped up about an article? Well, you were under the misapprehension that there was a debate being had, when, in fact, Earth's just measured flat.
Fine.
So did you know that? That Earth is measured flat?
I am not a cartographer, sir.
I see. Me neither.
As an example, mate, if it mentioned miles or kilometres in the article of their linear distance measurements, so you need a flat Earth for the distances in that article.
It also mentioned a straight line, so that won't be on the surface of a sphere.
It's got some problems, that article. Maybe it was written by an idiot. Did you have trouble identifying idiot article writers, sir?
Well, I don't know. I don't know the reputation of the Daily Mail. You can probably comment on that better than me.
Talking about distances that have a flat Earth as a prerequisite, they're linear distances. Yeah?
Does it have longitude and latitude?
It mentions latitude and longitude, does it?
Well, we'll have to see. Would you like me to read it to the room?
Not really. Do you know it if it mentions latitude or longitude at all?
Honestly, sir, I did a search to find if someone had a reference to what I had seen, because I thought it would be of interest to the room.
That's non-responsive. I'll try again. Second time. Let's start counting them off. Does it mention latitude and longitude? Second time.
I haven't read it yet.
So let me get it straight. You would like to read an article that you haven't read, that you thought prior to reading it would somehow elucidate a debate that doesn't exist. Do you know where you are? Do you not think it would be prudent to read? Do you not think it would be pertinent or prudent to read?
From India to
Do you not think it would be pertinent or prudent to read an article you suggest might elucidate something before offering it in light of some elucidation of a debate that doesn't exist? Do you not think it would have been wise to have read it first? Because you haven't read it, right? Why are you talking to us, sir?
Well, it claims 8,000 miles.
Sorry, I thought you hadn't read it.
I had read it, but I'm reading it now. I've got it in front of me.
But does it mention latitude? Third time. Does it mention latitude and longitude? Third time.
Does it mention? No, it does not.
All right. You could have answered that the first time I asked if you'd have read it.
Well, I hadn't read it yet.
So why did you offer it to us? Do you need help with reading? Do you need us to help you read it, sir? I'm talking, not you. I'm talking. I'm making you look stupid because you've offered up for assessment an article that you haven't read. That makes you seem incredibly stupid. Just so you know.
Well, fine. I guess I'm incredibly stupid.
Yeah.
I mean, can we have a vote? How many people think I'm incredibly stupid? Can we have it at the
Simmer down, sir. No, you're not in charge of this show.
Please,
stop. Shut him up.
I would like everyone.
Shut him up. He's decided to take charge by rambling incessantly in defeat. Shut this idiot up. No, we won't take a vote, sir. I'm running a live show with 106 people watching. You deciding that we'll take a vote on your idiocy. I've demonstrated how stupid you are. We don't need a vote. Fact. You offered up for assessment an article you hadn't read. That makes you moronic. Don't need a vote. Certainly don't need you yammering incessantly while I've got a live audience. Sit down, realise how stupid you are, and shut up. Ask if we're going to take votes on it. Silly little man. Go and read your article before you offer it to us next time, okay? Idiot. How stupid are these people? Can you have assessment of this article I haven't read yet? No, maybe you should read it first, dum-dum. How thick are you?
No, he found it profound first, but then he didn't read it.
I found this article I haven't read profound. Can you explain how conclusive it is? Because it seems pretty conclusive. Not that I said conclusive. Idiots. Well, now he knows. Earth is measured flat. A lot of the article he didn't read had things that need a flat Earth, like miles, linear distance on a plane, so you're going to need a flat Earth for it. What a shocker. People claiming Earth's a sphere are too stupid to realise their own proofsies include flat Earth prerequisites. Shocking. There's a lot of stupid people out there, including people who read, or don't read, articles that other idiots write. Well, this has been fun. It's been an hour that's flown by as always. About 5 more minutes left with the politics Discord server, so if there was any pertinent questions that needed to be asked, feel free. Been a pleasure as always. I love being in politics. You make me feel so welcome. The moderating team, that is, who very, very rarely actually pipe up because they're the unspoken heroes of this server and its wonderful, wonderful community.
Yeah, thank you. It's nice to have you come by too. It helps break up the week, by having separate things each day.
Can I ask the last question?
Feel free.
So, during what's called the final experiment, one of the participants, critical thing, flew from Australia to South America, to Chile, using the flight Sydney to Santiago. So, you would like to repeat that the Earth is practically used as flat. In that case, I would like to ask what shape of the surface is used in order to figure out in what heading and what time of flight will an airplane take in order to fly from one point to another. Thank you.
Oh, cool. Yeah, we've got something called pitch data that shows how flights are nose up with respect to a horizontal plane of reference. The measurements of flight data, specifically pitch data, show Earth is measured flat. So regardless where he's travelling from and to, in order to maintain, quote, level flight, you'll need a flat Earth, as is shown in NTSB pitch data. So we already know that all flights are with respect to a flat plane. Hope that helps. As for the distorted maps, I don't know, I'm not a cartographer like I explained to the last guy.
It's like you're allergic to answering questions directly.
I did answer your question. I said the flight has measured data we can assess from the NTSB. It proves Earth is measured flat. That's what I can take in terms of the measurements with these flights that you referred to. Now, you referred to a particular location and another particular location on presumably a particular map which you didn't name or detail. Well, all maps that we typically use have distortions on them. Now, I'm not responsible for those distortions. I can detail why they're distorted. They're globe projections. The globe being a reified paradigm that came from flat Earth measurements in the first instance, like the ones you conceded to earlier, like to create orbits. Yeah, you conceded those flat Earth measurements that we need for the maps, that then get projected onto a globe, and then get projected back out flat so they're useful again. So if you're saying that there's some problem with those maps, then speak to the cartographers, not me. I didn't make them. It seems perfectly unreasonable for me to be answering why distorted globe projections that came from flat Earth origins are wrong. Speak to the cartographers. But we do know that they're functionally used with respect to planes of reference, and that's how they're created in the first instance. So that proves that we need a flat Earth for them. If you have a problem with the maps, go and ask the map maker.
Well, when it comes to practical application, like the one where you fly an airplane, you don't want to use projected projections. You want to use the actual shape of the ground in order to figure out in reality what is the shortest distance between these 2 points. And my problem isn't with maps, because they are indeed distorted, because they are projections of the globe, and you cannot project the spherical surface without distortions in the plane. My problem is that we have an actually working map. That map is just the actual globe in 3D, not projected, and it perfectly works for all of the travel.
And how was that globe created? For example, on the globe that you say works for travel, where did the latitudes come from?
The latitudes?
Yeah, on the globe that you say we need, and it must be functional with.
They come from measurements to stars. If you know a star, the declination of a star, you can measure an angle. Subtract it from 90, you will get your latitude.
So these latitude measurements require Earth be flat then? They're angle measurements with respect to a plane of reference. That's the surface for the angle. So the globe that you say is somehow indicative of the surface of the ground, no, it definitely isn't. It's just how they have it modelled. Furthermore, we're not using models of spheres when taking journeys on planes. They use waypoints that are set in stone, like almost like highways in the sky. So no, definitely not. There's nobody digging out a globe projection on a laptop and then deciding which way they're going to go with the plane. Definitely not. But what we do know is that the globe that's in their cockpit that you're inferring has some semblance of relevance to the ground that's being traversed. Oh no, the NTSB data shows that the ground that they're actually traversing when you measure it with the instrumentation on the plane is flat. That goes without saying. So if you're going to suggest that the maps that were also created using flat Earth angle measurements for latitude, for example, mean that the surface is spherical because the map projection's spherical, no, definitely not. You're misunderstanding how these map projections work if that's what you think. It doesn't make the surface curved. It's just a projected model within a 2D screen on a cockpit deck. I mean, that's not how the world is, though. Did you not know how those maps and models were created? Like with angles off a flat plane?
So what is used is called the Harer-Stein formula, which is a formula for the shortest distance between 2 points on a sphere. So that's already a practical use of the Earth as a sphere in reality. And it cannot be...
Well, let's just address that.
Projection.
Stop. Don't scattergun me with claims. So Haversine conversion converts from a flat plane to a sphere.
No, it doesn't. It's derived from a spherical geometry, from the beginning to the end.
It converts from flat to sphere.
No, it doesn't. You made that up. Prove that.
Your claim. You show me how we start with Haversine. What's the conversion doing then? What's Haversine converting?
Haversine is converting the... you have two coordinates, latitude and longitude of 2 points.
Oh, well, we just figured out, didn't we, that latitude and longitude are measured on a flat plane, didn't we? So it's converting from flat plane latitude and longitude measurements with respect to the angles off a flat plane to a sphere. Or to put it more succinctly, from flat to sphere then.
Latitude and longitude is
are flat. Those are flat Earth angle measurements. That's what latitude and longitude are. If that's your starting point to convert from, then you're converting from flat.
Do the lines of longitude...
Why are you asking me something? Yeah, Haversine converts from flat to sphere. That's correct. You just misappropriated this term like somehow there's spherical measurements being made to convert from. No, you were wrong.
You claimed the latitude-longitude coordinate system is a planar system, so I'm asking you, do the lines of longitude converge as you go south?
Yeah, that's right. We convert from flat to sphere. That's right. You denied it and laughed and asked me to start justifying this conversion. I asked you what the conversion was. You started with latitude and longitude. Fortunately, I'd already established that that's flat. Is it just me, or is he talking while I'm talking? Is it just me, or is he talking while I'm talking? It's definitely this triggered seller talking while I'm talking. Definitely. Maybe if you talk while I'm talking, you'll win. Maybe you'll win. Maybe Haversine won't be converting from flat to globe if you keep talking while I'm talking. No, definitely. Latitude and longitude. Oh, yeah, they require a flat Earth, don't they?
Again, latitude longitude is a spherical coordinate system. It has nothing to do with it.
He didn't answer me, ladies and gentlemen. Non-responsive. So latitude and longitude, that's measured on a flat Earth, isn't it? Second time.
It isn't. It's a spherical coordinate system.
No, it isn't. It's an elevation angle to Polaris. He's a liar. Latitude and longitude, they're not spherical coordinate systems. They're measurements of angles to Polaris with respect to a plane. Are you going to lie again? Maybe if you start chanting through me before I finished, maybe that'll help you win when you lie. Don't lie. Haversine converts from flat to globe. When I ask you what it's converting, you start by explaining latitude, and I've already tied down that that is a flat Earth prerequisite. Is it just me, or has Ember got his mic wide open while I point out that there's flat Earth prerequisites involved? Maybe if his little noises that he's making with... Maybe if he starts talking while I point it out, maybe he'll win. Yeah, you're converting from flat to globe. Earth is measured flat, and you need a conversion process to create a system that can have the coordinates applied to it, not from it. The measurements that we take are from a flat plane.
Which isn't the Earth.
Oh, I see. So when we measure latitude and longitude with respect to a plane, that's not the Earth. So why would we pay any credence to the conversion of something that's measured not from the Earth? So have a sign's just converting from something that's not the Earth then? So it's not useful or relevant to this subject then? No. What he's actually doing is denying the measurements Haversine is based on as not being Earth-based, because they're a flat Earth measurement and a flat Earth prerequisite. So the moment that's pointed out, given that he lied when I said it's converting from flat to globe, he said it wasn't. He lied. Now that it's tied down as, yeah, latitude and longitude, yeah, that's flat Earth. Now it's not Earth. Scum. This is what globe believers do when they lie. They're scum. So you need flat Earth measurements, and the moment that's pointed out, you deny that they're measurements of Earth. Now, scum. That's what you got to do. You got to lie to Glurf, Embo. Yeah, you know damn well that they are measurements. It is just you chanting through me as you get destroyed for your lies and your Glurf zealotry. Because you're lying, Embo, to my audience. There's 120 people listening to you lie when I point out how flat Earth will be measured for your Haversine conversion from flat to globe that you denied because you're a liar. Meanwhile, when I ask you what it's converting from, your starting premise is a flat Earth measurement of latitude. Yeah. So you're a liar, and you've got to lie to be a globe believer. That's the facts in these matter. And no matter chanting through the top of me defeating your lies and zealotry will make you a winner here, Embo. You're just a scumbag. Because you'll deny the very basis of your Haversine conversion. That's the measurements that we take to make the conversion to globe. You just denied them as not being Earth measurements. They are flat Earth measurements. The ones he'll deny when he's got nowhere to go. Oh, that's not Earth that's being measured. What, for your Haversine conversion? Therefore, his argument for conversion to globe is relevant to Earth. Apparently, the measurements aren't Earth now. They are. They're just flat Earth, the ones that will be converted to globe. And he doesn't like that, so he'll lie about them being measurements of Earth, won't he? Scum. Got to lie to Glurf.
So, do you have any proof that the plane of the astronomical horizon, which is what is used as the baseline...
Why is he asking me something? He's just been called out for being a liar, and he thinks the way around that is to ignore it's even happened and start asking me questions. Latitude and longitude is part of the conversion process in Haversine. You're a lying scumbag. I point that out extensively, and no response. You're a liar. Can you remove this person from our company, please? I don't want to talk to him anymore. He had an opportunity to acknowledge his Glurf scumbaggery and his lie. I pointed it out to him, he ignored it and asked me a question. Don't want to talk to him anymore. I don't want to engage with liars. Scumbags. Ones that would deny Earth measurements, the ones that they're relying on to be converted in Haversine. The moment they're pointed out to be flat, he'll deny their Earth measurements. That makes him scum. Think I'm going to answer any more of his questions? Now get out of my life, scumbag liar. Meanwhile, yeah, your Haversine conversion starts with flat Earth measurements, though, doesn't it? Yeah, it does. Because you'll be converting from the measurements of Earth, the ones that he just denied, to a globe. You'll need a flat Earth, though, to do that. The starting point is the measurements. They're of Earth. They're flat. They won't be denied, because then it makes his Haversine conversion to globe useless. But he's more than happy to completely, suicide bomb the whole claim. Oh, well, they're not a measurement of Earth. Well, then why would you be converting them and telling me that that's the principle for your argument in Haversine conversion to globe with these measurements that apparently aren't Earth anymore? Scum.
Anyways, every vertical situation display in aircrafts 100% sure what Nathan is talking about. The planes flying over a plane. The plane's instruments themselves give testimony thereof. So
Precisely.
whatever you guys want to believe in your imaginary world, there is no sphere that the plane is flying over. The plane's instruments testify 100% that it's flying over a plane.
That's why it's called a plane.
Hard. Yeah, I know it's hard to digest. I know it feels bad to know that it's not a ball and you have been lied to, but there's nothing you can do about it.
Indeed. And with that, I'll say, if you are watching this on either Nathan Oakley 1980 or Nathan Oakley Premiering streams, then stay tuned, as there will be an after show to follow. Fortunately, though, if you are watching this live, this is where we bid you farewell. So another massive thank you to all of you for smashing the super chat, liking, commenting, sharing, subscribing, joining as a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member. Hit me up on PayPal, satisfying my e-begging desire to get lights on my car like the scummy scammer I am. All that good stuff. Also, of course, a massive thank you to today's politics moderation team and their public participation. Thank you very much to them and my G+ panel for making today's live show possible. I've been Nathan Oakley once again. Stay tuned if you're watching on an after show, and I will see you all in the next video.